Hello friends, today we are going to see the next chapter, that is interdependency in nature. How in this chapter we are going to see how one is depending from on other. Like all living things depend on each other. No living thing, human, plant or animal can exist in isolation alone. These are needed to each other for their survival. For example, dependency of human being on plants, dependency on human being on animals, dependency on animals on plant, dependency of plants on animal. Here we will see dependency of human beings on plant. How does human being depending on plant for various things? Like first one is food, next is fibers, wood, paper, rubber, gum, medicine, fertilizers. These are the things where human beings require plants. First one is food. Food is an essential thing in human being's life, which he is getting from various different plants like cereals. He get from wheat, rice, and maize. Pulses such as beans, lentils, and grams. Fruits such as mango, apple, papaya, etc. Vegetables such as leafy vegetables, tomato, chilies, etc. Whatever food we eat, we get it from plants. Spices such as coriander, cinnamon, black pepper, we get from plant. Beverages like tea, coffee, cocoa, coca are the product of plant. Nuts such as almond, walnut, cashew nut, these are also the product of plant. The secondary things which human being make use for his comfort, like fabrics means fiber, wood, paper and rubber. Now plant yield fibers like cotton, jute, coir. These are used to make clothes, carpets, bags and ropes. Wood, a product of plant, is used for making furniture as well as doors and window frames. The paper which we use is also obtained from wood pulp of a tree. Now, the rubber which we use for our tires are obtained from a tree which is called as rubber tree. Gum, the adhesive which we use to stick, is also obtained from the plant called as Acacia. Now, the medicines which we take are mostly made from the plants, like the herbs which we commonly know is tulsi, neem, aloe vera, etc., which has got a medicinal value. And the fertilizers, to dead plants mix with the soil and increase the fertility of soil, which is useful for farmer as a manure. We will see how human being is depending on animals. As like plants, human being require animals also for occupation, for food, for fiber, leather, medicines, for transportation, fuel, manure and entertainment. Occupation. Human make use of animals for different occupation for earning, like dairy farming, poultry, fishery, many other occupations which human being uses the animal are coming into animal occupation. Food. Animals provide milk, eggs, chicken, meat, seafood, honey, etc., which he uses in his daily diet, comes from an animal. Now fiber. After occupation and food, human beings use animals for fibers. Now the sarees which we see, the silk sarees which we obtain are from silkworm. Wool is obtained from sheep, camel, rabbit, which is used for making the garments like shawl, sweaters, and etc. Also, we get leather from the skin of animals, which we make use of, which we use for making bags, jackets, belts, shoes, etc. Also, we get the medicine like cod liver oil from fish, which is used for curing various ailments. Snake venom, like a poison, is also used for curing some diseases. What is beast of burden? Some animals are used in farm, while some are used for traveling and carrying the load, like horses are used for traveling, camels are used to carry the loads, ox is used in the farm, and elephants are used in the forest to carry the big logs of wood. So in this way, human being make use of animals, fuel, manure, and entertainment. How does animals used as a fuel? Now, animals dung means the waste product, which is used as a fuel in the villages by making the cow dung pads, and also it can be used in biogas plants to produce the methane gas. People also use manures for field. The dead bodies of animals get decomposed in the soil and yield manure, which is useful for farmer. Apart from this, humans use the animal for their entertainments. Like you might have seen on the roadside, some snake charmers make snake, bears, birds, monkeys perform the activities on the road, and they are trained to do the activities which the person tells. We also see the animals performing in the circus. These are trained by the trainers which human beings use as entertainment. Now, dependency of animals on plant. Till now we have seen how human being is depending on plants and animals. Now we will see how animals are depending on plants. As like human beings, some animals are directly depending on plants while some indirectly. These animals are called consumers or heterotrophs. Now they are further divided in three: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores. Let us see one by one. Now, what are herbivores? Also, there is another name for them, that is primary consumers. The animals which are depending on plants for food, such as cow, goat, buffalo, deer, etc. They eat only grass, leaves, fruits, and grains are said to be herbivores or primary consumers. They are directly depending on the plant and plant product. So we call them as primary consumers. Second, we will see secondary consumer or carnivores. Carnivores are the animals which depend on other animals for food, such as lion, tiger, wolves, and foxes. These animals eat only flesh of other animals, so we call them as a secondary consumers. And the third one is omnivores, the animal which eat both plant and flesh of animal, like crow, pigs, rats are said to be omnivores. Omnivores eat both plant and animal. Human being, man is also an omnivore. This is not applicable for everyone. Now, oxygen and shelter. Animals depend on plants for supply of oxygen during photosynthesis. The plant releases oxygen. This oxygen is used by animals and human beings for breathing. And the next one is shelter. Many animals depend on plants for shelter. For example, we see birds build the nest on the tree, monkeys and squirrel lives on the tree, and some animals live under the tree for the shelter like elephants. Now the last point, that is plant depending on animal. Why plant requires to depend on animal? Now plants also depend on animal for many things like pollination, dispersal of seed, carbon dioxide and manure. Pollination. Pollination like honeybee, insects like honeybee and butterfly helps in pollination. But what is this pollination? Pollination is a process of transferring of pollen grains from one flower to another, which helps the plant to form the seeds and grow into fruits. And the next one is seed dispersal. Some of the plants spread to distant places by sticking to bodies of animals and birds. Hence, animals and birds help in dispersal of seed. But why dispersal is important for plants? If there was no dispersal of seed, the seeds will scatter on the same place, which may happen to grow on the same place, and we cannot, means the plant cannot survive in the another area. For the growth of the seed in new plant, dispersal is essential. Carbon dioxide. Now, as we know, human beings and animals require oxygen for survival. Same way, plants require carbon dioxide for the survival. Now, how does plants survive with carbon dioxide? Plants need carbon dioxide for carrying the process of photosynthesis. Now, what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process of making food in the presence of sunlight, so which is released in the atmosphere due to animal respiration. Here, the plant absorbs the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, which is released by the animals. In this way, human beings and animals give carbon dioxide and take oxygen, and in other way, plant take carbon dioxide and give oxygen. Manure. The dead bodies of animals get decomposed in the soil. This serves a good manure for plant, which help the plant for their growth. So here we have seen plant, animals and human beings. All these three are depending on each other for their survival.